back. You're at My Modern Homestead and I'm Janet. For all the new subscribers, welcome. I'm so excited that you are here. All my regulars, thank you for joining me again. Today we're going to be working on okra. Guys, if you don't know how good okra is for you, you really ought to go look it up. There are so many health benefits to okra, but today our purpose is just to pickle it simply because it's delicious. So this is one of my most viewed blog posts and by far my most pinned on Pinterest, not interest. So anyway, I figured it's just about time to go ahead and do a video to show you actually how to do it. Now, I've got to sort this okra. Before I do that, I need to give a shout out to Miss Susie, Mr. Jack, and their son, Jeffrey. They have had a beautiful garden this year. I had to let mine go between weeds and schedule and rain. It's just been crazy, and I could not keep up with the weeds. So it didn't last long enough for me to get my own okra, but Miss Susie and Mr. Jack and Jeffrey shared with me, and I'm so excited. So I need to go through. We've got all sorts of different sizes of okra. Now, for pickled okra, your best okra is this size or smaller. Because if you do any bigger, one, it won't fit in the jar, and two, it will be too tough and it will not be very tasty. So I'm going to go through and sort and pull out my small pieces. Okay, that was so quick and easy, guys. The next thing we're going to do is trim the tops of these. If there are any long stems, I'm just going to just use this one for an example. Just trim down the very top, just like that. And then we're going to rinse them. All of this big okra, I'm probably going to chop it up and freeze it. Some of it I will leave whole. They're good to put in smoothies. I know that sounds gross, but I'm telling you, if you will look it up, it's really good for you. And if you do it right, it's not super slimy either. You have to just do it super well. But anywho, we get these trimmed and rinsed. We're almost finished trimming this. I wanted to tell you, if you're wanting to try this pickled okra and you're doing this along with me, go ahead and make sure you have your jars heating up. I didn't know how many jars I would need. I think I did 7 wide mouth pint jars. Oops, I almost put the stem in the wrong pile. So just get those up to boiling. For this recipe, I will probably let them go ahead and sterilize. I'm thinking about breaking a rule, you guys. It's called open kettle. You just put in your boiling brine at the end and you don't actually process it. That's a big step for me. I don't know if I'm actually going to go through with it or not. I've never done it before. I always process my pickled okra after I get my jars packed. I don't know. We'll see. Just in case, I'm going to go ahead and sterilize my jars. And of course, if you open kettle can, you know to go ahead and sterilize everything too. But for those who are new, I do suggest go ahead and can it. Process it at the end. Don't try open kettle starting out of the gate. All right, it's time to rinse. All right, now we have our okra still draining. I'm just going to let it hang out there until we're ready for it. The jars are heating up. Now, I've got my trusty little canning notebook if you've seen it in a previous video. So, all right, okra. Let's do our spices for the pickled okra. Okay, so we have mustard seeds, coriander seeds, red pepper flakes, fennel seeds, celery seeds, and our peppercorn. These are our dried spices that we will use. We also need garlic cloves, makes that pickled okra yummy, and we're going to be brave this year. Excuse me, I'm not going to be brave, my husband's going to be brave. For several years he's asked me for super hot pickled okra with the habaneros. He can have all those he wants. I'm not eating them. I also have some jalapenos. I need to pull those out. So these are our spices we're going to use. So now I just need to measure all of this out so that we can put them in the jars when we're ready. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 tablespoons of, that's not what we need, guys. Oh my goodness, already. And I can't find my funnel. Oh well. It helps to read your recipe before you start measuring. We need mustard seeds, not peppercorn seeds. 1, 2, 3, and 1 more. We need a total of 4 mustard seeds. 4 tablespoons. 4 tablespoons of mustard seeds, not 4 mustard seeds. Good grief, woman. I know y'all think I'm loony. You're probably not far from the truth. I apologize. Four tablespoons of mustard seeds, 2 tablespoons of coriander seeds, you know what, let's pause right here. I think I actually have coriander seeds in my pantry. Give me just a minute. Yay guys, I found my coriander seeds. So glad, because I did not want to adjust that recipe for ground coriander. My jars are boiling. Let's set the timer. Just want to boil them for 10 minutes to sterilize. You probably just do 5, but I've got plenty of time. So, anyway, we need 2 tablespoons. Oh, these smell so good. 1, 2. Guys, I bought these to also put in smoothies because the okra and coriander seeds are really good for a tummy that's on edge. But you can read about that. I won't try to be a health expert, but go read it. It's really interesting. Okay. Coriander red pepper flakes. I need 2 tablespoons. Now this will add some heat. Your actual peppers will add the rest. 2. I don't know if that was the right lid. Yep. Okay. Fennel seeds. We need 2. Let's get that out of the way. 2 teaspoons. Okay. Let's pour 1. 2 teaspoons. It's making strange noises back there. And 2 teaspoons of celery seeds. It won't go. What am I doing? 1, 2. Now we can put in our peppercorn. We only need 2 teaspoons of peppercorn. 1, 2. That's what my original recipe calls for, but guys, my husband loves the black peppercorn, in anything I pickle. So I am going to add extra. You can go with the original recipe or adjust it to your liking. I just doubled it. So instead of 2 teaspoons, I went ahead and used 4. So all we have to do is mix this up. We are getting really close, guys. All we have left to do now is to make the brine and heat it up. Stick the okra, garlic cloves, peppers, and our seasoning in. Here we go, guys. In my pot, I have 2 cups of water, and I'm going to add 1 more cup of water, just cold water. I don't know how much of the brine I'm going to need, so I'm doing 1.5 recipes. So let's see, 2 cups of vinegar, so I need 3 cups. It's still sealed, no wonder. 3 cups of vinegar. Ooh, it's dusty. I need to do a better job dusting. Our jars are done. 2 cups vinegar. 1 more. I'm not quite ready for my jar, so all I'm going to do is just turn them down and leave them right there on the stove. Okay. Water, vinegar, we need 1.5 tablespoons of sugar and 3 tablespoons of canning salt. Sorry, could you hear me? I walked away from the camera. That was 3 tablespoons. Hold on. Just bear with me. 3 tablespoons is 1 recipe. 2, 3, and then 1.5 for the half recipe. Okay. There we go. And that's all there is to the brine. At this point, we're going to put it on the stove and bring it to a boil. Hey guys, this is just like the brine we did in one of our last videos. Was it a brine we did? I don't remember, something we were doing. And we're just stirring it around and let it dissolve and then bring it to a boil. I just like to stir it because I always get nervous that something is going to burn on the bottom. I don't want that to happen. Of course, once it dissolves, it's fine. You can just let it go. Okay. Yeah. Got our hot jars out. It's time to get the bad boys packed. First, we want to start with 2 cloves of garlic. You can use 3. Just grab a couple. In you go. See, that one was 3. It's okay. It's not a problem. And if they're small, I go ahead and do 3 or 4. I just like the garlic in there. It's really good with the okra. And these are small. Thought when I picked up the bag that they were big, but they're not. Okay. And I'm going to show you one jar, and I'm going to let my little lady behind the camera help me. Ooh, those are hot. So, to do our okra, oh, that's hot, you guys. Ideally, you want to turn one up and one down around the jar, like this. Can you see? Hurry, it's hot. Okay. I should have on my gloves, but I don't. Just get it done. Whew. don't want to pack them too tight, but you don't want them too loose either, because they will float around the jar, and that's not too ideal. So pack them in there as best you can without crushing them. See, I told you if you get a long one, it's not going to fit. That one will not fit. We'll sit it in that one because it was sitting on top of a piece of garlic. Actually, nope, that one's still too big. Just sit it to the side. It will go in the freezer and be something else. It's kind of like Tetris putting a puzzle together. Just kind of make them fit as best you can. Okay, and then we need 1 tablespoon of the spices. I just put them right on top. And 1/2, excuse me, 1/2 of a pepper. I'll do my best not to use my hands on these peppers because I didn't buy gloves. What did I do with my knife? Here it is. Trim the end. And when I was toting these through the store, even though they were in that plastic container, my eye started itching and I rubbed my eye. Just that little bit of contact with these habaneros made my eye burn. Not bad, but enough that I could tell I was holding peppers. So, after handling them, definitely don't touch your face and eyes. All right, just 1 pepper in. And we'll just pack the rest of the jars. Mama gets to take a break.
Okay.
Thanks, baby girl.
You're welcome.
She's always helping me in the kitchen. If you lay it down on the side, they pack better.
This one's too long.
Oh, well then sit it to the side. Lay the jar down and pack better. There you go.
Oh, that's what you were saying. Now they all fall over.
It's all right. It's not perfect. Just best you can. A long time ago when they were little, we would do this for my husband for his Christmas present. And she and her brother would always help me with the okra. Back then they usually just measured out the spices. You can get more in there. See on the side there's space between those 2 pieces. There you go. Perfect.
More?
Yeah, have you got little pieces you can fill up the top?
Yeah, sure.
Now, as you can see, I went ahead and put the peppers in. So we'll fill up what we can with the habanero, and then we'll use jalapeno if we have any left. What is it? Little bitty one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those make the best pickled okra, guys. You just pop it right in your mouth. But we'll just get these filled up, and we'll be right back. Let's put our brine in our jars. We ended up with 5 packed jars. 2 of them have jalapeno. No, excuse me, 1 of them. Now this brine we're going to fill up to a 1/2 inch head space. You're probably not going to be able to see it just yet. I like to pour it slowly to try to keep out as many air bubbles to begin with as we can. We will still go around in the jar with a plastic utensil to try to make sure we've got everything out. It's hard to see, guys. I can't see. I know y'all can't see. faster than I would like to, but for the sake of this video and not boring y'all to pieces, we'll just do it. And usually once you get out the air bubbles, you have to go back and add a little bit more of the brine to bring it right up, bring it up to the right level. Now this is one of the easiest things in the world to can. These and carrots are so easy. But of course, carrots you have to pressure can. All right, there's that. So now, we'll take our little knife, and I'll just run it about 3 sides of the jars. Just run it down the side and push towards the center. That will help release those air pockets in there. Your okra will float. It's okay. Sometimes a jar won't seal. That just happens. Of course, you can put less okra in the jar, but then your jar looks empty when you're done. So, unless I'm doing it for a fair, I usually overfill it by just a little bit, not too much, because you do want it to seal. I think these are so pretty when I'm canning them and when they're done. Oop. My seeds are jumping out. Okay. Get back in there. I'm gonna add just a little bit to the jars. Right back up to the right level. Now, with this, let me rinse my finger off. This is especially important. I was looking for my wet napkin. For things that have spices in them, make sure you go around the rim of the jar and clean it, because if you don't, you will not get a seal on your jar. And you don't want that to happen. Not after you spent all your precious time getting your jars ready. See, that's coming off just the edge of the jar. Any of that will keep the jar from sealing. Now, if you were doing this for a fair, I recommend that you match the brand of your lid to the jar. But right now, guys, with this pandemic and where things went crazy, you're just doing good if you find lids, period. So do the best you can. It's okay. I just happened to find these in my pantry. I had taken them off of some new jars. These are the only lids I have in my house, guys. I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, excuse me, these are the only wide mouth lids. I went to the store before I got started today and they didn't have any lids or jars. And I like to face the brand name facing the front with the name on the jar, right? Sealed in finger tight. And oh goodness. We'll see if this one seals. I could not make myself open kettle. I'm doing these just by the book, guys, just like you should do. I've got my water. I brought it back up to a boil so these won't have to sit in hot water so long. You don't really want to cook it per se. You're just trying to seal a jar. So, let's get these in the canner. Got my heat resistant gloves. I had to take my glasses off because the steams them up. But we're just going to slowly lower them down into the water. And you want to make sure once they're down in there that the water is covering the jars by at least 1 inch. That's good enough. Put the lid on, and once these come back up to a boil, which you're basically boiling now, we'll set the timer for 15 minutes, and that will be it. We'll just, I'll tell you that when we come back. Hey you guys, while my jars are processing, I wanted to take just a minute to let you know I am going to make some peach tea. This is Georgia, and this girl likes peaches. But my friend Teresa sells this coffee. I get nothing for this. She has no clue I'm even doing this, but I wanted to share it because I love this tea. It's from Java Mama, and if I can find the link to order it, I will show you down in the comments or the description. But I also ordered these from Amazon. I thought they were the cutest. They're reusable silicone tea bags. And they came with this little measuring spoon. How awesome is that? So anyway, I just wanted to share because this tea is super good. I've also had some of their coffee, the Jawsome. Oh my goodness, if y'all ever have a chance to try it, I encourage you to do so. It's yummy. Okay, our jars are done. Now, if you've seen me can before, you know this is something that's important to me because I don't like stuff siphoning from my jars. What I will do is just sit this over here and let it cool down. I need to take the lid off. It sounds like I've got good timing. It's thundering out there. It's super dark. So anyway, I'm going to take the lid off. This will bring the temperature down. And when my water comes to rest and is nice and still, probably about 5 to 10 minutes, we can pull the jars out. I probably won't leave it 10 minutes. 5 is plenty. So we'll be right back. Whoops. Alrighty guys, got my Vader gloves on. I'll pull the jars up. This is hard with the Vader gloves. They want to knock your jars around. There we go. Okay, now all we have to do, don't lay them on hot eye. Just pull our jars out and let them cool. For this part, I like to use these instead of the Vader gloves. The Vader gloves, I have a love-hate relationship with them. They make it easy, but sometimes it's hard to maneuver. But anyway, look. They are so pretty. So let's go sit them over and let them cool. Look, ah, they're popping. Here's our last jar. Oh, that feels so good, guys, to have that done. And they look so pretty. I appreciate you guys coming to join me today. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you get a chance to try this recipe. It's a winner in our house. So until we meet again, may you be blessed.